Thanks, Margaret. Great to be here.
We're watching the breaking news. This is a deal you negotiated. What can you tell us about how these 3 women who've been transferred to the Red Cross are doing?
Well, I just confirmed with my Israeli counterparts that they're now in Israeli custody, so this has just happened. Look, I know they're alive. I'm sure they've been held in deplorable conditions over 470 days. But the Israelis have a very good system to take them into their care, and they're going to get the care they need and be reunited with their families.
It appeared that even up until this morning, it was in question whether Hamas was going to go through with this. The Israelis said they hadn't handed over the names of the captives. Why? And do we know much about the well-being of the 3 Americans that are still being held?
Well, look, this deal was negotiated over a year for good reason. It's a detailed, complex arrangement to leave nothing to chance. And even up to last night, I was up until 4 o'clock in the morning when this finally went into place to make sure that everything went according to the plan. Hamas owed the list of the 3 names. That had to happen for the ceasefire to go into effect. That was delayed a couple hours. It eventually happened, and now we have the news today. You have a full ceasefire in effect in Gaza. You have about 800 trucks of aid getting into Gaza today. And
800?
800 trucks of aid should reach Gaza today. And you've had the 3 girls now, again, reunited, hopefully with their families, and they're now in Israeli custody.
So the UN says an average of 72 trucks per day went in December, and that's been the case in January. Is there even the capacity for the Israelis to search these trucks and allow in that food? Do you expect 800 trucks to make it into Gaza today?
That's why I've been in the Middle East for the last month nonstop to make sure everything is ready to go. This was not put together in the last week. This has been put together really since May when President Biden laid out this framework. He developed this framework with the Emir of Qatar and with the President of Egypt, President Sisi. He announced it to the world in May. It was unanimously endorsed by the UN Security Council. We thought we were close in August, Margaret, and then we had 6 hostages killed in a tunnel underneath Rafah. I was just in your green room talking to the mother, or speaking with the mother of Hirsch Goldberg, Poland, who was killed tragically in August. It was that incident in August when Hamas killed those hostages that we decided to flip the script. There was not a deal because Hamas would not agree to release hostages. We supported the Israelis in going after Hezbollah. They took out Hezbollah.
In Lebanon.
In Lebanon. We have a ceasefire in Lebanon. We have a new government in Lebanon. That isolated Hamas. Iran is in the weakest position it's been in the Middle East in decades. So we went back to the table in December. Hamas, for the first time, was ready to accept the May framework and begin to release hostages. It wasn't until early January that they actually approved the hostage list, and that's how we got to the result today.
But do we know Keith Siegel, Sagi Chen, and Idan Alexander, how they're doing?
Keith will come out in phase 1. Sagi will come out in phase 1. Idan was a uniformed Israeli soldier. He is phase 2, but we are committed. I think you just heard this from Mike Waltz, and we've been working seamlessly with the incoming team. I think this is a testament to President Biden and to President Trump, allowing us to work together. I worked with Steve Witkoff over the last week. Again, a partnership I think historic to help get this done.
Trump's envoy.
We are committed to getting Idan out as early as possible. I spoke with Adi Alexander, Idan's father, just last night.
So Prime Minister Netanyahu described this overnight as a temporary ceasefire, and he says he has permission to begin fighting as needed. Do you believe he sees this as just a strategic pause, or that he actually wants to end this war?
The way the deal is structured, on day 16, the negotiations begin for phase 2. Phase 2 will begin a negotiation for the exchange of soldiers to Palestinian prisoners, but also the conditions have to be set for phase 2. And we support the Israelis in making sure those conditions are set so Hamas can never come back to power in Gaza. Hamas can never again threaten Israel from Gaza. Those conditions have to be set. We in the Biden administration have been very clear. We want to see this deal reach all 3 phases. Every hostage come home. I think the Trump administration very much shares that objective. And the template, the roadmap, again, that the president set out in May, this was the roadmap ultimately to ending the war, getting everybody home is the only way to do it. That roadmap is now in place. We have a ceasefire today in Gaza, and we have a good chance to get every hostage home, and we got to do everything we can to make that happen.
Well, Hamas, according to the Secretary